Leisha, say hi. Leisha, say something. Leisha. Oh dear. She's trying to talk, but then that's what happens when you're a stuffed toy, I guess. Anyway, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever day this video happens to get to you. Demo I'm doing here. And first of all, equipment. Drummers generally have the most equipment to take on stage. I mean, certainly if you play an acoustic kit like I usually do. I learned to play on an acoustic kit, and here is my kit. And here's my ugly mug. So we don't want to see that. And here is and bye. Yeah, don't want to see. And here is my, hang on, I've just said, wait a minute. I've done this already. The actual purpose, and yes, there is a purpose, is to do a demo of these Evans sound off pads. Excuse me, I'm not smoking. I've just recently recovered from a chest infection. Sorry, I can resist that. It's the child in me wants to pull silly faces in front of cameras. It's been happening since I was 5 years old. Enough of that aside. Yes, I'm hyperactive. Yes, a lot of drummers are hyperactive. Keith Moon started it all off. Ginger Baker. Did you know that this is a little bit of an aside, but don't worry, if you watch my videos, you have to get used to this a lot. The hyper piper that I am, we're talking about drums here, Jay. Stop being so fucking ADHD. I don't have ADHD. It's hyperkinesis. ADHD is a bullshit term invented by a psychiatrist in Nazi Germany. I mean, and America, probably, more than anything. And it's been increased by junk food. Shut up. I'm not a schizophrenic, really. I'm just got a split personality. That's another myth. Schizophrenia does not mean having a split personality. Now, where was I? Yeah, if you watch my videos, you will have to get used to a lot of these type of asides and going off at multiple tangents. But then we are all multidimensional beings, and variety is a spice of life. But however many apparent tangents I appear to go off on, my videos generally are about music, comedy. Well, comedy is still part of music, really, in my view. Anyone watching is a big fan of The Darkness. Yeah, I know the last album ain't so good, but that's another story. But yeah, comedy. I mean, well, Justin Hawkins is he's like a medieval jester, isn't he? With a modern twist. It's like Freddie. It's like a cross between a medieval jester, Freddie Mercury, and 80s hair rock. Although now he's cut his hair, not so much like that. But yeah, in a nutshell, comedy and music go hand in hand. And without much further ado, I'm going to do a demo video for you. But what was I going to say? Yes, a nervous cough because I had a chest infection following a flu, which I ain't had for about 20 years. I've had some heavy colds, but I recently had the flu. And I had the flu, and anyone who views my TikTok will know because I upload more content on there, but I'm uploading this in a few different places, so I just thought I'd say, plug, shameless plug. But yeah, I had the flu. I finished antibiotics a week ago, but I have a nervous cough, which I'm trying to stop. It's not because I used to smoke. I used to smoke and vape, and I stopped. I should have never started, really, because I was born with asthma due to neonatal hypoxia, which causes respiratory problems in a lot of people, and that's the reason why I'm such a hyper piper. But it could have been a lot worse. I was, it could have been mild. No worse. I'll get it together in a minute. Some people are affected mildly. I was affected moderately. If I'd been affected severely, I would have had more like, you're looking at blindness, cerebral palsy, things like that. So I'm a bit of a freak, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay in my own skin. I don't need any sympathy from anybody. I know who I am now. I've recovered from a lot of trauma over the years. I'm a fair share of it, but then ain't we all? It's a traumatic world. There's a lot of war. There's a lot of civil unrest. There's all sorts of things since the end time, some people will say. And although I'm moderately affected, as a child it was more obvious. You mean to say it's not obvious, Jay? You need to fucking slow down, mate. Okay, right. Maybe I'm just a little bit overexcited and pumped up because this is the first time that I'm doing a drum video. I've tried doing them in the past, but I was on psychiatric drugs and they were crippling me. And so I just deleted the videos because I just didn't feel comfortable. If you're not fully fit, yeah, and you've got all your faculties and you're fully fit and everything, you ain't going to be doing a very decent drum video of any description, in my view. But that's health related. But yeah, I've got a TikTok channel. For anyone watching this who follows me there as well, I'll just say this, right? I'm a musician. Yeah, comedy is part of that. But my videos can be broken down basically into 3 or 4 different things. Music and wildlife and health. So however many apparent tangents and there's, however hyper I get going and talking very rapidly, however much that happens, it's actually can be broken down into those 3 things. Music, it's about music, health, and wildlife. Yeah, all of it can be broken down to those 3 things. Okay. So now, without much further ado, now I've had that slightly overexcited introduction, which I might hasten to add is exacerbated by the fact I've got a nervous cough and I'm trying to control my breathing and speaking at the same time. So there's the sense that I want to sort of I suppose there was maybe subconsciously I was trying to blurt everything out and that because I'm still not 100%. I would say 99% recovered, but I really am getting annoyed by this tickly cough. Anyway, after that rather long intro, here we go with the proper intro of the kit. Cymbals, these are secondhand, like quick beat hi-hats. They're a bit bent when I bought them many years ago, over 20 years ago now. In fact, it's the best part of 30 years. Mine all classics. This is a Sabian Pro, like 16-inch. That's a 14-inch. 14-inch hi-hats. Well, that's pretty standard. 14-inch small crash. You go any smaller and you're getting splashes, like 12 and below as splash cymbals. This is a pretty standard 16-inch Sabian Pro crash. I did have a Meinl Classic of that as well, but it busted. I think it was when I had a soft cymbal case and it got a little bit like split on the edge here. And after a while, wear and tear and not having a hard, like durable enough case, it just cracked. But I don't hit that. Well, I do hit hard, but I don't really. I'm not the hardest hitter. Let's put it that way. Okay. This is my newest edition. This is Istanbul. What's that? An Istanbul. I think it's an 8-inch. Yeah, I think that's an 8-inch Istanbul. That's really nice. The holes just make it like the decay. That the sustain is. The sustain is. Let's say that one is UFIP Splash, a 10-inch UFIP Splash. I think these are handmade. I'm not sure. I don't know too much about those cymbals. But Istanbul, good. I found out about them because I'm a big fan of Sleep Token. I think a lot of people are now. And Tu is an award-winning drummer, and he plays with Istanbul cymbals, and that's how I've got into those. But anyway, I'm actually here to just tell you about this briefly. So I've got Meinl Classic 20-inch ride, that's pretty standard. 18-inch power crash, another Meinl classic. So it's mostly 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's mostly Meinl classics. This is a Zildjian, by the way. I forgot to say that earlier. So that's all the kit, and I've got a Pearl Midtown. It's like a bebop kit, basically. This is a bebop kit, and that's my little mascot there, the Kraken. But that's another story. Yeah, so the Pearl Midtown. Yeah, the Pearl Midtown is a little bebop kit, and I got it because it kind of fits into this bay wind. I don't have a very big room. I basically live in a bedsit. It's a bedsit, as you can see behind me. This is all the personal space that I have. I am planning to move, but that's another story. And my channel is not about moving at all, in fact. So we're going to keep it that way for now. Okay, the pedals now. So this is pretty good. I had it for years, but it's like a double braced Tama. Tama are pretty renowned drums and hardware company, and it's got this adjustable. The bass is adjustable, and it's got an adjustable tension there on the spring. Demon Drive, well, yeah, these are pedals that I bought. I've got the double kick Demon Drive with Sonor beaters. Little bit of a shout out here. I was having online lessons from Wanya Grosjean. Online lessons during COVID, and in one of his setup videos, he recommended playing with the Sonor beaters because they're lighter and you can get more speed with them than the beaters that come with the Demon Drive pedal. So I did that actually before I started having lessons with him, but I'm not really. I can, I can play a little bit of metal, but I can't play. I tried the push-pull technique, and I started to get it, but then health problems got in the way, like I was mentioning earlier. So this is the other thing, drums and health. You can play other instruments and kind of get away with being a bit pissed or under the influence in some way, but on the drums, you can do that, but you ain't gonna, if you get really trolleyed and then try and play a drum kit, well, it's really bad for your health. It don't look good, it don't sound good, and this is basically what was happening when I was on psychiatric drugs for many years. But that's another story. It is health related, and I know health is a big part of drumming. You need to be fit, reasonable level of fitness to play the drums. Most drummers are athletes. That's just standard. It's just the way it is. It's one of the most physical. Well, it is the most physical instrument you can play, and in fact, the faster you go, it becomes like a sport, really. So yeah, but backwards. I'll start with the actual demo now. So I got these sound off pads because basically I live in a shared accommodation. It is a detached house, but drums, they can often piss people off, and for many years I didn't even know there was something like this available. I know you can do your own things and like tea towels and stuff like that, but that's to mute the sound on recordings, most famously with Come Together by the Beatles. And Michael Giles, I think, did something similar with King Crimson on one of their I think it was on Moonchild. He's dampened them in some way. So I use these. This is Meinl Drum Honey, but this is more beneficial for the studio. I just cut out holes in the pads, just so I don't have to keep taking the Drum Honey off, basically, because this is the only kit I have, you see. So I don't want to be fiddling around taking that off and on and off constantly. And yeah, the drum honey is pretty cool. It's basically they're not mute. They don't mute the drums, but they dampen them slightly, and I think they bring out the true tone of the drums. So it was really noticeable. Like, I think they're quite popular from what I've read, and I first found out about them when Austin Archie was doing a playthrough on YouTube, on a YouTube video. So without much further ado, I will do a quick demo now. Well, it's the end of this little demo. It's not as much fun playing on Evan's sound off pads, but they're pretty good. You get a fairly decent response, I would say. The only thing I would say is that it's not so easy to do like a close roll or buzz roll. But I don't know, it's not too bad though. It is possible, you know, but I mean, it doesn't sound as authentic as, well, I say authentic. Playing on the sound off pads, well, it's basically so you can practice for longer without disturbing people. It's not as much fun because it's not musical. It's got this dull sort of. I mean, I don't know how much they mute them by, but I think it's over 50%. So I can't remember exactly now, but that's the end of this kind of like the first ever. Like, well, it's not the first ever drum video that I've done, but it's the first one that I've been happy with, because now I'm in a happy place, a much happier place, in fact, and yeah, I've basically that's it. But suffice to say, I'll be doing more of these types of videos. If you've enjoyed it, then and you've got this far, I'm very grateful, because I have gone on a bit. And if you feel like subscribing, please do, or following, or whatever, delete as appropriate. Please do, but don't feel under obligation. I'm not paid to do any of this. I'm just a unsigned artist, multi-instrumentalist, producer, blah blah blah, who's been in various bands over the years and who is just starting to up the online game a little bit. Anyway, it's coming up to 20 minutes now, so this ain't going to be going on TikTok, for one thing. Ciao for now, until the next time.